Hello and welcome back again. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about inflammation. And just again, depending on what your health condition is and why you're coming in to see us, inflammation is one of the core reasons why people have chronic health conditions. So we're going to talk in detail about inflammation and what could be causing that and some of the things that we're going to do in the office to correct that for your chronic health condition. You may not be able to see the panel clearly, so I'm going to read to you. Inflammation. We may need to test inflammation, and we test them by two basic tests, homocysteine and C-reactive protein, also known as CRP. Many patients that suffer with chronic health conditions have a problem with inflammation. And just so you understand, inflammation can be anywhere in the body. Many times, though, we see inflammation as a problem within the intestinal tract itself. What I mean by that is the intestinal lining is supposed to protect us when we eat our food. It breaks the food down into small particles and then it passes through the system. The problem is if the intestinal lining is not healthy itself, then it will let bigger particles cross over into the body, and then the body recognizes that as not a friend but an enemy, and it attacks it and creates an inflammatory reaction. So that inflammation then goes from the intestinal tract and travels all the way up to the brain. And when you start getting inflammation of the brain, for those of you that suffer with what we call fibrofog, now you understand the fogginess comes from inflammation that's traveling through the body up into the brain. But thyroid patients have inflammation. Chronic pain patients have inflammation. Hashimoto's disease, which is an autoimmune disease that we take care of in here, also has chronic inflammation. So what's happening in terms of chronic inflammation in the body? Well, there's a couple things. The diet that we all have, we are assuming that the diet that we have is working for us. And I'll have a lot of people that say, well, I eat pretty healthy. And then as I ask more detailed questions about the foods that they eat and where they're getting their food sources from, we discover that they are probably eating what we call tainted foods, tainted supplies of foods coming from different aspects. And I'll give you an example that I just heard the other day. I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you eat fish, and fish is where we're supposed to get our good oils from, our omega-6 and 9s, it's very important that the fishes actually come from either fresh water or the ocean. But it can't come from these farm-raised fish, and here's the reason why. The food supplies that they feed these fish are not natural to the fish. They're not the natural plankton that the fish is eating in their bodies of water, their natural bodies of water. So what happens is we're ingesting a fish that has a different diet than the ones that come from the ocean. And we assume that we're getting the right breakdown of the oils, the essential oils that a fish is going to have, but we don't. Without that essential oil ratio within the body, your body is more prone to inflammatory reactions. So I even have patients say, well, you know, I take fish oils. Again, it comes from the source of the fish oil. If the fish oil source that you're taking from is not from a natural wild source, you're not getting what you think you're getting, creating inflammation in the body. So when you come into our office, we're going to check you for inflammatory reactions that are going on. Some of these are things that we can do in the office. Some of these are based on lab panels. So as we finish off today, I want you to understand that inflammation is a major source of chronic health conditions, be it fibromyalgia, be it chronic fatigue syndrome, be it chronic pain, autoimmune disorders, Hashimoto's disorders, cardiovascular disorders, and everything of that nature. So we look forward to seeing you in the office real soon. Thank you.